Hello, YouTube and universe. Welcome to Scarstorm Productions. I'm your host, Morro, here to bring you everything new on your favorite brands and more. And today, we'll be taking a look at the next wave for Transformers Age of the Primes. But before we begin, make sure you like, subscribe, and the notifications. You know, the normal YouTube spiel. But just know it's very important because it may be a small coup for you guys, but it's a big help for me and the channel. Thank you. And without further ado, let's begin. Now, recently, Wave 3 of Age of the Primes was revealed, and I just want to talk about how I feel about each of them. And let's start off with the Deluxe class with... this is a hard pick because all of them are good, and I don't have a least favorite. So you know what? I'll just start from how I saw them. The first one up is the next Prime on the list, Micronus Prime. And now, don't let this figure deceive you. It may look clunky and it may not look that articulate, but that's kind of the point. Because this isn't Micronus Prime. This is an armor that he wears. Yeah. Because I was wondering, how would they do a Micronus Prime without being, in the core class? But they managed to make a mech for Micronus Prime that honestly looks pretty good. Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to actually look good. But yeah, I like how they use the teal, the dark green, and the black together to actually build out the color scheme of him. And am I the only one that thinks this is the Apex armor? Because, well, for one, his accessory is a disc that goes in the center of him. Which, if that ain't a reference to the Apex armor, I don't know what is. Because I can actually see this being the Apex armor specifically for Micronus Prime, if I'm being completely honest. Now, that's just the armor for Micronus. Let's go to the actual figure of him, and look at the little guy. He is just a mini-con. I mean, of course he's a mini-con. He is the progenitor of them. He's the first ever mini-con. And yeah, he looks pretty good. And if you don't know, he is based off of the RID 2015 version of Micronus Prime, who played a huge part in the story of giving Optimus his new abilities that were squandered in the later seasons. But he was still a cool character, and I felt like he was a good mentor after Alpha Trion for Optimus Prime, making him think of the little guy instead of just going for a full-on frontal assault, which is always good to have a mentor that will teach you that. Now, let's move on to the vehicle modes for both of them. Starting off with Micronus, he turns into a deployer disc. And if you don't know what those are, basically that's what most of the minicons turned into in RID. Basically, little discs that could be deployed. Well, for Autobots, they were discs. For Decepticons, they were torpedoes. But basically, you just shoot them out, and when they hit on the ground, they would transform again, which was a pretty cool gimmick, and I love that they homage it with the character that looks like the 2015 version of themselves. And for his armor, it actually does something cool. It actually turns into a kind of motorcycle that he could ride. Yes, it only has one wheel, and it kind of reminds me of the motorcycle the Omega Ranger had in SPD, or Deca Break if you're a Super Sentai fan. And honestly, I think it looks cool. And the little circle thing, that goes on the chest of it actually goes as a second wheel almost on it. And it looks good. I can't lie about that. And I also like how the hands turn into the exhaust for it. It's really cool engineering at that point. Though I can't tell where the turbines on the back go, because now that I think about it, it might kind of be useless at that point if they don't really do anything in vehicle mode. But other than that, it's pretty good. Moving on to the next Deluxe Class figure, we have the final member of the Deluxe Insecticons, that being Venom. And I have to say, I love how this guy looks. Now, this will be the last member of the Deluxe Decepticons, as I said, because we've gotten them since the beginning of Legacy, if I'm being honest, with Ransack. Then, during Legacy United, we got the 2-pack of Chop Shot and Barrage with the Mayhem Attack Squad. Ooh, I couldn't remember the name for a second. And now, we finally have the final member, Venom, and he seems to be just his own mold instead of being a redo of one of the other Insecticons, like Kickback, Shrapnel, and Bombshell, like the other Deluxe Insecticons were. And I am glad about that, because Venom was very unique compared to the other Deluxe Insecticons, so it would make sense he would have to be his own mold. And as I said, I love how he looks. The green, orange, and the clear plastic of red just goes perfect together. Though I don't like how the wings fold on his stomach, it still looks good, and I'm definitely going to try to get it. Now, I also like how you can still see the cicada eyes, but it just goes perfect for it because of the visor in the center. It just looks like he has 3 eyes and he's looking for me with all angles, which is pretty cool. Now, for his accessory, he comes with an axe and a blaster that you can combine together to make a bigger axe, which looks pretty cool. Now, for his insect mode, he turns into a cicada. And as you can see, everything just folds up nicely in this form. And I love how it looks. Of course, I said about the neon red wings. And I also like how the cicada head looks. Even though you can still see the visor, it still works because that's kind of how the original did it. I even like the spindly legs that he has. And all in all, he seems to be a good figure, and I might get him as soon as I get the chance. And for the next 2 figures, they are the remaining aerial bots. Starting off, we have Skydive, which honestly he looks the best out of the 2 that we have so far. And I honestly love how he looks. The black and gray and red go perfectly together. And I love that his face is orange to differentiate him. Even though, Slingshot also has an orange face, but I like how it has the black around it to make it different. But that's basically what I'm saying. And yes, he is a remold of Air Raid, so he could actually fit in the leg of Superion, but he still looks good for his own character. Moving into his vehicle mode, of course, he turns into a jet like the rest of the aerial bots because that's kind of their thing, being the aerial force for the Autobots. And I love how it looks. The gray goes perfectly on it with a mix of yellow, blue, and black on it. It just looks perfect, in my opinion, for Skydive. And yeah, that's nothing much to say about him other than him being a remold of what we got in the first wave, but it still looks good nonetheless. And the other one being Firefly, the red one of the group. And don't get me wrong, I love Slingshot. It's an amazing mold, but I don't like the red that they use for Firefly in this. Even though he still looks good with the white balancing it out, it's just something about the red doesn't look right to me in robot mode specifically. Because I think it's because they're trying to put the white on the outside, but everything on the back will be red, which doesn't look good to me. But other than that, it still looks good. Don't get me wrong. If you like it, you like it. It's just, I don't like how the red is used in it. But, yeah. In vehicle mode, it looks better. Probably going to keep him in vehicle mode or on Superion's arm. But, yeah, it still looks good. Same vehicle as Slingshot. I almost said Firefly's name again. It's the same vehicle mode as Slingshot because, well, they have to be similar to fit on Superion's arm. But I feel like they incorporate the red and white better in this instead of how he did in robot mode. I think that's just me, though. And, of course, with us having the remaining 2 aerial bots, we were able to see what Superion looks like finally completed. And yeah, it still looks good. I love how the 2 arms look, and you can barely tell for the legs. But altogether, the aerial bots are an amazing group, and I think Hasbro did them justice this time around. Now that's it for all the Deluxe class figures. Let's move on to the next class, that being the Voyager class. And starting off, we have Flatline. Now if you don't know who Flatline is, I wouldn't expect you to know because he's mainly been in the comics. Now, I believe he was originally in the movieverse before becoming inclined with IDW. Basically, he is a medic, and he is kind of neutral, but he has Decepticon ideals as well. I mainly know him because of IDW 2. He was a medic, and he got possessed by Exarchon, basically the main villain of the War's End part of the series. But anyway, this figure is a remold / retool of Red Alert, and I have to say, it looks amazing. Now, even though my main color scheme is purple and black, red and black always goes good together as well. And, it just looks perfect. I also love the head sculpt that they used for him. It's exactly the same one he had in IDW. And if you don't know, look him up. It looks exactly like how it did. Now, one thing that makes him unique compared to the original Red Alert is he actually comes with another hand that's interchangeable with the blast effects. And that is so cool. Because I remember in the original renders for Red Alert, it showed that he had another hand, but it never came out with him. So, I was guessing it would have been going to the retool, and I was right. I was right about that, and I'm happy about that. And for all the other accessories, it's the exact same as one with Red Alert, but I'm just surprised that they actually managed to make the other hand for him, because it just looks good on him. I don't know why. Now, if you're wondering what you could do with the other accessories, you could actually put them on ports that are on Flatline's back, which I did not know that's what the purpose of the ports were when it came to Red Alert. So I did not add that in my review of him, so that's gonna, I won't change my review of him. I'll just keep it the same. But it still looks good, giving him some back weapons, because if you remember, the original Flatline was based off of the Trailbreaker that came out a while back. I don't remember which version. I believe the Thrilling 30s. But let me know if I'm right on that. But I know it was in the Generations line. So him having the ability to have his cannons on the back works perfectly. And when we got the vehicle mode, ooh, that just looks nice. The black and red looks amazing, and the Decepticon logo just makes it pop even more. I even like it. They have the red EMS logos on the side. And of course, the two accessories are still on the top of the vehicle mode, and yeah, it looks perfect. Now that's it for the main man Flatline. Let's move on to the Prime in the Voyager class, that being Alpha Trion. And he's War Dawn themed. Ooh, you should not have done that, Hasbro, because now I need it! Give it to me! Ooh, sorry about that interruption, guys. But War Dawn is one of my favorite episodes from G1. And now that Hasbro's doing this, yeah, I'm definitely getting it. Now, of course, many people were not happy that it was some people. I'm not going to say everyone wasn't happy with it. But this is basically a younger Alpha Trion from when he rebuilt Orion Pax into Optimus Prime and Ariel into Elita 1. Now, I don't know why, but yes, I love the bearded look that Alpha Trion has, but for some reason, I like the clean little mustache he had in War Dawn, and I honestly prefer that look for him. I know that's a hot take, but hey, that's what I like about it. But I like the maroon, purple, and gray that they use for him. Plus the silver on the chest just make it pop as well. And of course he has that little mustache and those little glasses of his with his purple horns, of course. Now for before we get to accessories, I just want to say, again, I love how this looks. And you see the little shield that he has? That actually can combine into his cape. Yeah, Hasbro thought of everything when it came to this. But anyway, back to the accessories. He comes with the Book of Primus and the Quill, which is a really good look at his, artifacts. The Quill and the Covenant of Primus. And I like how it looks. And I love that they actually gave the Covenant of Primus a couple pages in it that you could flip in between. And in one of them, they even have Cybertronian that says, "Till all are one." Well, I believe "Till all are one." I haven't really looked at it. I only know based off how some other people said it. I should probably look at it. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. And the Autobot logo he has is detachable as well, which kind of reminds me of the episode in Season 3 where he actually did that. And with us getting an Alphatron like this, can we get an A3 as well? Maybe even a Beta, so we can technically have a Zerta Trion figure? I just want more comic figures, okay? But anyway, moving on to his vehicle mode, and he turns into a spaceship. I mean, what do you expect with Alpha Trion? We've only seen him on Cybertron, so it makes sense that he would keep a Cybertronian alt mode. And plus, I believe this is based off of someone's artwork. I don't remember whose, but I know it's out there somewhere. But yeah, it looks pretty good, and I like how compact everything gets. And kind of has a little bit of the Sweep slash Scourge design because you can still see a little bit of Alpha Trion's head at the top. But other than that, that's really it when it comes to Alpha Tron. And if I'm being honest, this is a definite buy when it comes to the primes. Now that's it for the Voyager class. Moving on to the leader class, we only have one figure, and it's the same leader class from the last wave, that being Onyx Prime. Now that he's up for pre-order, you can actually get him. And if you want my full opinions on him, the link for it will be in the description down below. But for the gist of it, I love his robot mode, I love the bipedal form that he has, and I love that it made the triptych mask into a spear as well. It honestly goes with him being a hunter and being the one that guides souls along the way. Basically, it's a spear that protects everyone. And all in all, he looks pretty good. And I also love his beast mode being some mythological creature. I cannot remember what the name of it was, but it still looks good. And yeah, that's really it when it comes to the leader class. We also have a couple exclusives as well, starting off with the Amazon exclusives, that being the newest addition to the Wreck and Doom collection, that being the Sandstorm and Slug Slinger 2-pack. Ooh, that was hard to say. It took me 2 takes to do that. But anyway, starting off with Sandstorm, he is basically just the cartoon accurate one instead of being the toy accurate version of him like the Legacy United version was. And honestly, I was waiting for a cartoon version of the Sandstorm so I can actually get it, because even though, don't get me wrong, I loved how it looked when it came out in United, but I just preferred having the face instead of the mask. That's just my personal preference. And all in all, it still looks good. And I also like how they changed the hands as well to make it more unique, because instead of having gray hands, he has black hands in this. For his opponent in this 2-pack, almost a team member, we have Slug Slinger, which is a re-release of the Times Return version, but in a new deco. And I never got the Times Return version, so this will be the first time getting it. And I'm kind of happy to see where it comes from, because, well, one thing, if you don't know, Slug Slinger is one of the target masters from the original G1 line, and the reason he's connected to the Mayhem Attack Squad is because of the Treads and Circuits. He was one of the Mayhem Attack Squad members in Treads and Circus on Velocitron, so it makes sense for him to finally get a new figure in the collection, and I was just waiting to see if he would actually get one. All we need now is Thunder Blast, and we'll have technically all the members of the Mayhem Attack Squad except for Octo Punch. But yeah, it's a pretty good Slug Slinger, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And when it comes to vehicle mode, both of them still look good. Of course, Slug Slinger turning into that 2-headed jet thing that I believe is a Cybertronian vehicle. And they didn't show Sandstorm's helicopter mode, but they did show his Doom Buggy mode. And yeah, it still looks good compared to the Legacy United version. It's the exact same, but I like the shade of orange that they used for it. Now, that's it for the first Amazon exclusive. The next one we have is Revenge of the Fallen 3-pack for the Decepticons. This 3-pack will include the Tank Megatron, the Satellite Soundwave, and the Fallen. And I find it funny that we're getting the Fallen 2 times this year. One in Studio Series and one in Age of the Primes. But, hey, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan of the Bayverse. This will be a good 3-pack for those who actually enjoy it, but personally it's not for me because, as I said, not the biggest fan of the Bayverse. Now, if it was a Dark of the Moon set, I'll probably get it for the characters in that, but until then, I've just been skipping out on the live-action stuff lately. But don't get me wrong, if you find this amazing, go and get it. I'm not stopping you, I'm just giving my opinion on it. But one thing I can't deny is I love the artwork that the box uses. Just look at it. All 3 of them together looking menacing. Yeah, that's just perfect. And on the back of the box, you could just see the 3 figures you're getting, the Fallen, Megatron, and Soundwave. And I kind of like the silver that they use for the Megatron. And you can even see his head's a little damaged as well. Other than that, that's really it for the 3-pack. It's already figures we got him before, but it's still good for those who actually enjoy those figures. And the final exclusive is well, I believe a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and I already checked this because pre-orders just went out. It is $99, and that being the 2-liter class Dinobots, but they are done in their G2 colors. And honestly, before I saw the price, I was thinking of getting them, but after I saw the price, I was like, ugh. That's basically the price of 2-liter class figures, which is basically what they are. But I don't know about getting them in this color scheme. Starting off in their Dino modes, they look really good. I love the burgundy that they use for Snarl and the green that they use for Slug. I was about to say his original name, but I'm just going to use the name that he's given now. And if I'm being honest, I have a connection with Slug because that was my first ever G2 figure that I ended up losing when I was a kid. So it has a special place in my heart, and that's the exact reason I was thinking of getting it. But after the price, I would have to do a lot of working for it. Getting into robot mode, they still look amazing compared to the originals. And honestly, I prefer their G2 colors over their originals. Sue me. I just think the Dinobots being colored makes them more unique to one another and can play off with their personalities. But the silver still works for whenever you just want them to be a unified group. I'm just saying, the G2 colors work if you're trying to give each character their own personality. Like, for example, Grimlock being blue. Even though it's traditionally not a color they use by leaders, it's still a color that can signify him being the top dog. Green for Sludge, basically making him the envious one. Red for Snarl, making him the angry one. Even though those don't fit with their personalities, it still would work if you want to make your own stories with them. But other than that, that's really it for the 2-pack. It's just 2 of the leader class figures that we've gotten before in a new color scheme, which, yeah, it still looks good, but the price is not worth it in my opinion, even though it's basically how much you would pay normally for 2 leader class figures. Kind of less because it would just be $100 plus tax, and 2 liter class is basically $54 each, and that's not even including tax. So if I'm being honest, this will be perfect for 2 liter class figures now that I think about it. But yeah, that's basically it for the exclusives. And if you're wondering why I'm not talking about the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or the Target exclusives, well, I made another video for that will be coming out soon, so don't worry about that. But other than that, that's really it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. And let me know in the comments, who are you most excited to see out of this wave? And if that's everything, that's a wrap. Fade to black.